Jam. Toon Jam.
Hello, and welcome to Toon Jam. Spooky edition. That's right, boils and ghouls. I am Matt.
And I'm J-Man.
And you've joined us, and this is sadly the last spooky episode of the year. How fast that's gone by.
I know.
I still remember the excitement of digging into these spooky cartoons.
And
now I feel just sadness.
hollow on the inside.
Hey ho, there's always next year.
That's it.
But it's not over yet. We've got this episode, so let's get too spooky.
Oh yeah.
It's going to seem weird, actually. You'll have tuned into this one thinking, what? Because we're doing Moominvalley. But let me explain why. And anyone that listens to this show will remember when we covered Moomin. Was it just Moomin?
Yeah, it's Moomin.
Just Moomin, the sort of the original Japanese and what is it? Yeah, Japanese Finnish production series that a lot of people will know. And we watched the first episode, and it was absolutely horrendously terrifying. Genuinely, the scariest thing we've watched, full stop, and chilled us to our very cores.
Oh yeah.
So this might seem like an odd choice, but we had good reason for picking it because we thought, let's watch a new version and see if it's still got that horrendous. Like if you want to watch anything scary, watch that version because it was just spine tingling. In a real uncomfortable way, though, wasn't it? Like, oh yeah. Jokes aside, it was really horrible.
It caught us off guard because we were thinking, oh, this is going to be a very fun and frolicky little, they all look like flipping marshmallow hippos. How can it go bad? And then it takes a turn. Bad. It really takes a turn.
So, and instead of watching, we usually watch the first episode, but we haven't done that today. So we've watched season 2, episode 6, The Hobgoblin's Hat, because this is essentially a new version of that very same episode that scared us so much in the first place.
Yeah.
So we thought, why not see if it captures that same fear, or if that's just sort of the original's take on it that really, has chilled us to this day. So let me tell you a bit about Moominvalley. This is a 2019 Finnish-British animated family drama musical series, an adaptation of the classic Moomin books and comics by writer-illustrator Tove Jansson and her brother Lars Jansson. It is created using new techniques in 3D CGI. When I say new, I mean circa 2019.
Technology moves so fast, man.
I mean, that was 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Finnish production company Gutsy Animations ran a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo from 8th of March to the 21st of April 2017. The campaign was organised in order to raise funds towards visual development of the series. Animation company Anima Vitae was appointed as the lead animation company for the first 2 episodes of the series. The tremendously popular series is Finland's most expensive TV show, with a 22 million euros budget.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. For an animated TV series. In 2019, the series' first episode was the most watched program on Finnish national broadcaster Yle. Yle. Sorry if that's wrong. Streaming service Yle Arena. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
As far as ratings and reception, the series has been extremely successful in its reviews and ratings worldwide. The first episode of Moominvalley was viewed by 1,000 viewers when it premiered in Finland's Yle TV2 in February 2019. It also became the most watched television series episode of all time, as I've just said, bringing the total viewership of the first episode in Finland to over 2 million. Moominvalley was the most watched TV series and the fourth most watched TV program in Finland in 2019, including all channels. So that's pretty crazy when you think about it. It was let's have a look. It was written by Mark Huckabee, Nick Osler, Steve Box, and I believe Steve Box was also a director. Yeah, so Steve Box, just if you don't know who that is, he is an Aardman Animations classic guy. He basically co-directed Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit. So that's the kind of that's the way they were going with this. And he also worked on Chicken Run, Wallace and Gromit, Wrong Trousers, and Close Shave. He directed Viva Forever, the Spice Girls music video.
Oh, nice. It's a good one.
Which they were like little fairy puppets. And he provided the voice of Vince in the TV series Rex the Runt, if you remember that.
Oh, I do, yeah. Rex the Runt.
Rex the Runt. And Spooky Callback, he has also worked on the Trapdoor series.
Ooh.
Now that's it. That maybe next year we've got to do Trapdoor.
Yeah,
it's a good Halloween one.
Yes.
So we'll do that next year. But yeah, so there you go. That's a bit about Moominvalley. As far as ratings on the old webs, there's no Rotten Tomatoes. So we can only assume that that's 100%.
Safest way to do it.
I mean, with those results in Finland,
at
least the audience score has to be
through the roof. Yeah.
But IMDb rating, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go for it's got to be high-ish. I reckon 7.8.
Oh, I thought you might be onto it then. 7.2.
Oh.
Not too far. But yeah, 7.2 with 683 votes there. So if you're saying it had so many views, it's not.
The Finnish clearly hate IMDb. That's my conclusion.
Yeah, maybe that's why. And Rotten Tomatoes, really.
Yeah, fair play to them.
Yeah, we support the Finnish. Okay, so before we talk about what we know of it, has Twitter got anything to say? Yeah,
it seems like, to be honest, right now on Twitter, there's a lot of Moomin stuff because it is currently Moomin-October.
Oh, is it?
Moomin-October, yeah. So it's Inktober, but Moomin-Inktober for some folks. So there's a lot of Moomin artwork. So if you like Moomin art, head over there. No doubt on Instagram as well for Moomin-October.
Moomin-Inktober.
Yeah, Moomin. It's quite a mouthful. Yeah, I thought it was going to be really easy to say until my tongue tried to say it.
You got to break up the Moomin, haven't you?
Moomin-Inktober. Moomin-Inktober. Yeah. So there's a lot of that on there at the minute. But other than that, we've got a few people, sharing their thoughts about what Moominvalley is. So we've got Fawn Cub, who says, "No expletive way Matt Berry voices Moomin Popper." Imagine watching What We Do in the Shadows and then jump into an episode of Moominvalley. LMAO.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, that's a good tweet. I like that.
Yeah.
We just have a good cast. It's got Matt Berry as Moomin Popper, Rosamund Pike as Moomin Mama, Taron Egerton as Moomin Troll, who was later replaced in season 3 by Jack Rowan, apparently.
Oh.
A lesser known actor. Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
As Sniff. Yeah, I mean,
that's good
and much more.
Yeah, we had a guest appearance, a very brief guest appearance from Adewale in this one, I believe.
Was there? As the witch doctor.
As the what's it called? The
hobgoblin.
The hobgoblin, yeah, as hobgoblin, which I'm pretty sure is just like that bit at the start where it's a cloud, and he just makes grunting noises. So, well, good work there, good solid work from Adewale. Good solid cast, and yes, Matt Berry does make an appearance in a very Matt Berry way.
Yeah.
So it's seemingly related to that tweet. We've got MNNTWT Bot, strange name, who says Moominvalley 2019, British national anthem starts playing in quotation marks. So apparently that's how they felt when they first started tuning in.
Which is funny, really, because it's not. I mean, obviously it's a British production, but
I suppose a lot more British than the original one was, I guess.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, it did catch me off guard a little bit, especially when Matt Berry turns up, and you're like,
that's the first voice you really heard, wasn't it? Of the characters, the main characters. It was co-produced. I don't know if I said this before. It was co-produced by Sky One.
Oh, really?
I think, or instead of original network is Sky One. So
there you go. So British.
Yeah.
We've got Bruzzy4 who says, "So unfair that I can't live in Moominvalley." That's the whole thing.
Well, I mean, watch the original. You might be quite glad.
I know. Yeah, I definitely did not want to live there after watching that episode. But yeah, clearly a fan.
Yeah, I mean, that gives you a glimpse of what this show probably makes you feel in comparison.
And then we've got Smee Boy, who says immigration to Moominvalley has caused it to become a no-go zone.
Oh,
so, interesting. Yeah, update on whether if you do want to move to Moominvalley. Apparently, you can't now. Sorry.
Immigration has made it a no-go.
Gutted. Yeah, I know. All these times I was like, oh, I wish I could take upon my head a hat that I found somewhere and have the worst day of my life. Can't do it. Just can't be done now, guys.
Yeah, a lot of disappointed people, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what that was in reference to be fair. So
maybe we missed something.
Yeah.
There's a later episode.
We don't know. But that's it for Twitter.
Okay, well, there you go. So Moominvalley, had you seen Moominvalley before?
No, I hadn't. I don't think I don't remember what I said last time, but I don't think I've seen much Moomin of the normal one. I've seen the odd episode, but a long time ago and very not well remembered. So, and then obviously after the traumatic experience you had when we watched Moomin, I've kind of avoided it since. So yeah, how about you?
No, I've never seen this one. I know what you mean. It's a bit too
real.
It's extreme. But I was excited to watch this because it does look like, with that new animation style, it does look pretty cool. So it immediately had a fresh look to it. It's like, oh yeah, let's see. And obviously the Aardman connections. Or I do like Aardman. I don't think we've really covered anything Aardman, have we?
No.
But if you're British, national anthem plays.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was excited to watch it, and all I know is the old one, essentially, with Moomins. I remember watching it a bit as a kid, but never really loads. And now, as an adult, I can see why.
Yeah.
Well, it was intriguing. I do remember as a kid being like, what a strange thing this is, like.
Yeah.
And kind of being really intrigued by it, but not seeing it on all the time.
Yeah, I think that was probably it.
I feel like it was on CBBC or something, just every now, like, you just catch things, wouldn't you, every now and again.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so I mean, this is very much a comparison episode, for better or for worse. So our final spooky episode is a comparison episode. But the one thing we've got to cover. So the kind of horrendous bit is where Moomin Troll turns into this weird monkey thing. It happens in quite a different way in this one.
Yeah.
And you're immediately nowhere near as shaken.
No.
By it, because he kind of goes with it at first.
Yeah, it's strange.
So, just to quickly cover it, he finds a magic top hat, which is the Hobgoblin's hat, and it does weird magic. He wears it, falls asleep in it, turns into this strange, it's like a monkey, isn't it? But
yeah,
but more hideous.
Like a Weasley monkey thing.
Yeah. And in the old one, he was sort of hiding in the hat. And then he came out as that, and no one recognised him, and he immediately like broke down, didn't he?
Yeah.
Into tears. Whereas in this, he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm just his mate." Goes along with it for a bit, and it wasn't as scary.
No.
That's the main thing I'm trying to get at, I think.
Yeah.
Which, as it's a weird thing, because normally I'd be like, "Excellent, that is exactly what this needed." Like that lack of chillingness, but as a Halloween episode, it was slightly disappointing.
It's very disappointing, yeah.
So it was a really weird feeling. But yeah, I do think this was definitely like, you'd be more likely to show this to your kids.
Yeah, it was a lot milder, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it still had a sort of like a good way of dealing with it. Like towards the end, they all start hunting him. And it's not like hunting him, they're just chasing him.
Moomin Papa just puts war paint on.
Yeah.
They just go into the mud to like get rid of their scent.
Just tracking him everywhere.
Yeah.
Like bear traps and everything. No, they're just sort of chasing him about, and they don't recognise him. They're trying to find out what he's done with him, essentially.
Yeah.
But in the same way as the other one, it takes his mum to see him and recognise that it's him and break the spell. But it was quite, it was done in a good way. I felt quite emotional almost.
Right. Yeah. The end bit with the revelation of it. So.
Yeah, and it was like his mum looks into his eyes, and he's getting upset at this point, isn't he? Because no one recognises him.
Yeah.
But his mum recognises him. And it's just quite a nice little bit, which the last one didn't really. You can tell that's almost the point, isn't it? Of the like that's the point of the story, is really that, like, your mum has got your back, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Your mum will know who you are, no matter what. Your mum's there for you.
Yeah.
In the old one, it kind of comes through, but you're kind of so shaken up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was there in the old one, but I think you're just so like on edge.
Yeah, it really felt like the moral of that was like, don't wear hats ever.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I took away from it. I know that for sure.
Whereas I felt like in this, the morals were a bit clearer and a bit more laid out, and it kind of played it out in a better way. That he was being a bit like, he didn't want to tidy his room. He kept leaving his windows wide open. He was being a bit naughty, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, he wasn't appreciating his parents, essentially, in particular his mum. So I think that is the kind of the moral, and it's clearly picked up on. But it still did have a certain eeriness to it.
Not as much as the original, but there's something there. Yeah.
I think I would call this the right amount of eeriness. I thought it was weird that in this, Sniff, who's he's like a kangaroo or something, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't really know what he is. But in this, he's like Gollum.
Yeah. I thought that's where they were going with this one. I was like, oh no, what if like Sniff gets it and he's like obsessed with it or something? He
was really horrible in this, actually.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't in the old one. He was just annoying. But in this, he kept getting like his eyes kept going really dark.
Yeah, he kept getting obsessive every time they talked about the hat.
Yeah.
And then he like moped off because he was like miserable about not getting to use it or whatever.
So that was an interesting take on that.
Yeah.
And then there's what's the guy's name?
Ermin Trout or something.
Is it Ermintrude?
Ermin something. Yeah.
Ermin something. Or Snufkin.
Oh yeah.
But he has got another name, hasn't he? Hey, we just don't know.
Hey, we'll never know.
We're not experts, guys. Yeah. But let's go with Snufkin.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his name. I don't know who Ermin Trout is.
Ermintrude Snufkin.
Yeah,
is his full name.
That's it.
But yeah, his character is always really weird. But like, I like him, but he's such a mysterious.
Yeah, I didn't really know what his game plan was in this one. It's kind of odd, an odd fellow.
Like he's like right. He sort of knows what the hat is, doesn't he? And he goes off. He's like, I need to go and do some research, and then we see him again at the end.
But he just goes into a tent.
Yeah, and doesn't come back.
Doesn't come back until all the drama's pretty much like.
Yeah. And then he just sort of laughs when the hat's chucked in the river at the end.
Yeah. He's chaos, he is. He's chaotic.
I imagine this felt a bit more like, there was bits before and bits that are going to happen after, the episodes carry on in a way.
Yeah.
And it did feel like, he didn't feel like, what was that all about? Like, I feel like he will probably come back and say, I found out that hat was the hobgoblins.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, you'd think so. I think the bit for me in this that was probably like, terrifying in a different way was the whole like pop music cloud journey moment. Like that whole thing where it's like they get whisked away, they whisk each other away on the clouds and then go on some sort of like magic carpet ride.
Yeah, it was scenario. It was a bit Aladdin-y, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then there's some very modern pop playing in the background to just like hammer it in.
Yeah,
that I found like chilling in a different way.
It just didn't feel welcome.
No, it took away from the clouds being spooky completely, because I remember in the original one there was like the music plays, doesn't it? There's this like spooky music that happens and the cloud starts like emanating from the hat in the background. You're like, oh, even those clouds are a little bit terrifying, and they sort of turn out to not be harmful in the first one, but you're still like, yeah, I'm not sure about those clouds. Whereas in this one, it's like, oh no, they're cool, we can use them and just fly around. Yeah,
I think it's like, it's one of those things, isn't it? In the first one, it was very much like, this hat is dangerous.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, it was just like, this is a magic hat, and it didn't seem dangerous until he fell asleep in it. Yeah,
but even then, it didn't really feel. It wasn't dangerous, was it? It was just like, he's done something with it, and it accidentally, basically, like, you weren't scared of the hat necessarily. It was just like, especially since he was like he adjusted to it almost immediately. That was the big difference. Was like, you weren't scared for him, whereas like in the original, you were like, he didn't know it had happened really until everyone reacted to him, and then he had this whole like self-conscious, this identity of self thing all happened within like a space of a couple of minutes. Whereas in Moominvalley, in this one, we've got, he goes down for breakfast and he's trying to make up stories to his dad about like how he's a famous traveler and all this jazz. So he just he really rolls with it for as long as he can. So you're like, oh, maybe it's a good thing because now he's interesting.
I felt as well, it was definitely like the pacing was much better in this. Because like, if you remember with the old one, it just seemed like they did certain things for ages, and it was like, well, why are we still, like the cloud bit, I remember that was really like, it was almost like the pacing added to the upsettingness of it. Just like, why are we still on these clouds? I feel like there's something we need to know about them. And it wouldn't be, it was just the way it had been paced. And it was just unsettling for different reasons, I guess. Whereas this was
a lot smoother.
This was well paced, I thought. Like, it didn't feel like, come on, move along now. Yeah, definitely a bit smoother on that one.
I will say though that the British voices did sort of that did catch me off guard quite a bit as well, especially when like what's the girl Moomin called? I can't remember her name. We'll call her Ermintrude. That's
Yeah.
probably not a name either.
Yeah, I can fight. It was, isn't it like? It's a weird one. Snork mate.
Yeah. Oh
Snork.
yeah. Yeah, that's a weird one. When she turned up and it was like, "What are you doing up in that cloud?"
I know that I did not like. I hate when they have these sort of, the Cockney EastEnder.
Yeah.
It's so popular at the moment as well in stuff.
Yeah, that really took me out.
Yeah, I did not like that voice at all.
No.
It was the only one I really had a problem with, to be honest. It didn't bother me otherwise, and it helps that when you've got voices like Matt Berry.
Yeah.
Because at least then that's hilarious.
Yeah, because it did make Moomin Puffer a lot funnier just by like the way that he was asking questions and stuff.
Yeah, because he plays with the words, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Which is just funny. But Snufkin is Edvin Ander, who is a Swedish guy, Swedish actor.
Yeah, he did seem like he was different than the rest.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool that they did that.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. I mean, you're not a big fan of the British.
No, that's more of a personal preference, really. Yeah. I don't know why that is. Like, I wonder if if you guys are from elsewhere, if voices from home make something seem like a little bit different. Because I think it's probably just a lot of like it's less of an adventure if everybody sounds like they're from next door.
Yeah.
It's like
it's strange, isn't it? It's because you think you'd relate to it. Really.
Yeah, but it seems to have the reverse effect on me for some reason.
Yeah, it could be as well because of your almost like your preconceived notions. So like what you expect of a cartoon.
Yeah,
when it's British, it can be quite jarring at times. Like some people just don't fit it as well. I find, and that's probably the same with any actor really. But some people just kind of like that voice just doesn't go.
No, yeah.
Like, and it's upsetting. Like Snort Maiden.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That I don't think that was a great.
It did not fit at all.
No. She could have easily been Little My instead.
Yeah.
Just that very sharp tone. Yeah. Yeah, it is a strange one. I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's just a lot of American cartoons back in the day, so you kind of expect everyone to be American or something, or at least different in some sort of way. So
yeah,
don't know.
But yeah, overall, I really I think this would be this. It's a strange thing because it's like, in a way, it's better than the original. And it is, I do think. But then there's something about the original that the fact that it was so upsetting.
Yeah.
Is kind of what makes it so good as well.
That's its magic, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing. So I think if you were just like, I really want to introduce my kids to Moominvalley, and or you really want to the Moomins, or you just want something to watch with them that you'll enjoy as well. Moominvalley's great.
Yeah.
But if your kids are into like weird stuff, like weird cartoons,
got them weird kids. Yeah.
Then they might prefer Moomin anyway.
Yeah.
But I think this is definitely a more family-friendly Moomins, and with still the same, with still quality, and an interesting, like that the art style and the animation is really nice.
Yeah, it looks really pleasant and weirdly fitting with Moomin as well, because obviously, like it's quite a charming little world, despite the odd hat.
Yeah.
It's got a real nice look to it, and they sort of really catered the look to that with the CG in this one, so it does fit. That does fit really well. Yeah,
and it's just the colours, like it's just so nice to look at, isn't it?
Yeah,
very. Really. Like each still is like almost like a painting.
Yeah, the characters look really nice as well. Like they've got a charm to them, because it's not super hyper realistic or anything, because that would be weird. But it's everyone's kind of they look like they should. It's sort of like as you'd imagine if they'd have popped out of the book or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of what they look like. Yeah. Quite fair.
All right then. Well, we've covered the episode, so let's move on to our reviews. Hey up, Governor! It's the new Toon Jam Cockney Block every Saturday morning with shows like He-Man.
Hello, Skeletor. I'm here to stop you and your evil powers.
Oh, not again, mate! Pull the other one, will ya?
You know I can't go away, mate, because I've only gone and got the power, ain't I?
Oh, bleed neck. I'll have you. Ninja Turtles.
Oh, cowabunga, mates. You know what time it is. Pizza time.
Cool, blimey. Hey, ref, this pizza's got pepperoni on it.
And pineapple, mate. Are you mental?
Oh, bleeding heck. He's ordered the wrong pizza.
Splinter, sort this out.
All right, my son. Pinky and the Brain.
Well, Brain, you know what it is, what we've got to do tonight, don't you, eh?
It's right, something we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is that, like, but I was talking about, why don't we just nip down the chippy, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it's a banging idea. Get some mushy peas, salt and vinegar, mate.
Oh, I love it, mate. I'm getting me a Savaloy, mate. You know what I mean? A bit of that.
Oh, make that too. Make that too.
Sort it out, well, yeah, sort it out.
I'm on it. And the Flintstones.
Yabba dabba do, mate. You know what time it is. Bond, get in the car.
Come on, we're going bowling.
You know I love to bowl, mate. Yes, get in.
Get in. Let's run it. Let's run this motor.
Put your feet out. Here we go. Running. Watch out, mate. There's only a big, massive dinosaur there. Bleeding it.
Whoa! I can't steer.
No.
Crash.
We've only gone and hit a dino, haven't we?
We were only supposed to blow the bloody scales off. That's the Toon Jam Cockney Hour, every Saturday morning on Sky One. Okay, so here at Toon Jam, we have a 3-point rating system that goes as follows. So, thumbs up, spine tingling, brain curdlingly terrifying.
Ugh.
Oof. Thumbs down, cockney gaffers in your cartoons, and shaky middle, anything that spine tingling that's intended for young folk. So so good, bad, in the middle on that one. That's essentially pretty straightforward, doesn't need the explaining that I always give it, but hey, here we are. So Moominvalley, our final spooky show, questionably. Your thoughts?
Yes. Well, I mean, I suppose you could say we kind of went in with very odd expectations of this one.
Yeah.
So, you know, it may be a bit off kilter to what it actually is, because, you know, it's a gentler show. It was a gentler ride, definitely, this one.
Oh yeah.
It you know, it starts off and you get to see, you know, there is the big sort of hobgoblin-y cloud thing that looks kind of spooky, and it was a bit big as well. So I was like, oh no, this is not off to a good start for me. This is starting spooky. But after that, it pretty much chilled out. But I mean, you know, look-wise, it looks really nice. You know, it is very pleasant, very pleasant to view. And that doesn't stop. Even with the transformation, you know, he didn't seem as hideous as he did in the original one.
Yeah, it definitely toned him down.
Yeah. So, you know, I do have my own personal issues with voicing, but, you know, on the whole, the voice acting was good. No issues there, you know. And I think you're right in saying that, like, the morals are a bit clearer in this one. It flowed a lot better. And, you didn't end up, somewhat traumatized afterwards, which I guess is a benefit. If that's what you're going in for, then it's a bit different. But I think, that being said, I think it did lose out on having that extra element of just weird fear in there, which definitely gives the original a charm that this one is sort of lacking. So it is kind of hard to say. I think this is going to end up being a straight up shaky middle for me, because yeah, I mean, I think I went in wanting some spooks, and I didn't get them. And I think
that was my worry. Do you think if we'd have watched this just on a normal day, not spooktacular?
Yeah. I think maybe it'd have been higher, but I do have issues with it in the form of cloud moment was definitely something I could have done without. And hearing the voice of the what's her face, Snot Maiden,
Snot Maiden.
Yeah, so it's going to ending up shaking me up for me. But yeah, I definitely will say, one for the kids. One for the kids.
Oh yeah, this is the family friendly version.
Yeah, this is the one for the kids. Yeah.
I didn't have the same problem sort of thing. Like I do agree that Snot Maiden wasn't. I don't think she was well cast necessarily. And it wasn't even that the acting was bad or anything. It was just that the voice didn't really fit.
No.
And that was the problem really there. And the music in the cloud scene didn't match the atmosphere for the rest of the show.
No.
I agree with that as well. However, I thought the episode overall was really nice, a fun watch, well paced. And I didn't really have any major problems with it at all, and it was interesting to watch as well, like going against sort of what we did, what we watched previously, which really was, like, I cannot emphasize it as you know by now, how terrifying that episode was. Maybe it's got grander in our heads, but it was really upsetting. I think that was the worst thing. It was just really upsetting. Like, I felt so uncomfortable in so many points of it. And I think there's just numerous factors. I don't even know if it's intended in a way. That's what's weird about it, but it works at the same time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I did really like this, so I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I would happily watch more, and it's one you could easily introduce to the whole family without any worries. Whereas you would actually be concerned showing the other one to your kids now, I think.
Yeah.
Or you'd do it and you'd be like, flipping out, wish I'd not done this. It's the kind of thing that could scar a child for a long time, I think. If you're a sensitive child.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
This is one of those things that turns up on like a website somewhere, like 5 shows not to show your kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Like some horrible craze later down the line where like people are just posting strange videos of transformed Moomin trolls face really close up to the screen.
No.
Too much. But there you go, an up in the middle. So let's recap. It's been spooky. It's been too spooky this season, but has it? Let's see. Mummy Nanny was a rough start. 2 downs.
No.
Gravedale High picked up a little bit. We got 2 middles there. And it definitely was, spooky themed.
Yeah. Had the theme
there. Betty Boop Snow White was we both gave that a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And that was surreal. And a bit spooky, but not overall too spooky, to be honest. The ghost added the spook.
Oh yeah, the legs.
Yeah. And then we've got Moominvalley, the Hobgoblin's hat, which was an up in the middle.
But
not too bad. There's only one complete downer. I can't remember last year's trip through Halloween.
No.
But I know we watched Ghostbusters, which was good, but I think there was a lot of bad ones.
We have Transylvania Pet Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was great last year, so we've probably improved on that at least. But at least we've definitely got something we can watch. We've got Trapdoor that we mentioned next year, so maybe we can make it really spooky next year. If you've got any recommendations for spooky cartoons for next year's Spooktober, please let us know, because we want to make it a good one. No more mummy nannies.
No.
Let's put an end to that right now. But it's been fun. It's been a fun spooky special.
Yeah.
And I hope you've enjoyed it at home. And if you have, please feel free to rate and review us on whatever it is you listen to us on. It really, really helps us out, and it takes like 2 seconds. It's like the easiest way to help us. Or just share it. Just share it with a friend or with someone you think might like it that maybe isn't quite your friend, but you think, yeah, they'll like it. They're an acquaintance. Just share it. Otherwise, if you really want to help support us, then like on a whole nother level, you can go to our Patreon, and we do bonus episodes there through all sorts of different themes. And then we also have a merchandise store, bit.ly/Toon Jam shop, and you can get all sorts on there of Toon Jam themed nonsensical things, so which is quite fun. And then otherwise, as always, you stay jammy. Spooky. Jammy. Ooh. Stay spooky.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to help the show keep going, you can be extra jammy by heading over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/toonjampod. Here you can get a shout out on the show or unlock bonus episodes. Ratings and reviews anywhere you listen to the podcast also really help us out. So thank you, and stay jammy.